Viktor Frankl, An Understanding of the Meaning of Life. Viktor Frankl was born in Vienna, Austria, March 26, 1905, to a Jewish family of civil servants. He studied medicine at the University of Vienna in 1923, where he specialized in neurology and psychiatry, with concentrations on depression and suicide. His first success came in 1924, when, as president of the Middle School of Vienna, he offered a special program to counsel students during the time they were to receive their grades. Not a single student committed suicide during his tenure at the school. From 1933 to 1937, Dr. Frankl headed the suicide pavilion of the General Hospital in Vienna. In 1938, however, Nazis invaded Austria, and Dr. Frankl was no longer allowed to treat Aryan patients due to his Jewish identity. In 1940, he began working at the Rothschild Hospital, the only hospital in Vienna in which Jews were still admitted. His medical opinions saved Jewish patients from being euthanized via the Nazi euthanasia program. The following year, he married his first wife, Tilly Grosser. On September 25, 1942, Dr. Frankl, his wife, and his parents were deported to a concentration camp. During his time in the Nazi camps, he used his understanding and knowledge of depression and suicide to assist fellow prisoners. Though he was assigned to ordinary labor details daily, Dr. Frankl also worked in the psychiatric ward and established and maintained a camp service for those who were weary of life. He gave lectures on topics such as body and soul, social psychotherapy, and how I keep my nerves healthy. October 19, 1942, he was transported to Auschwitz and then to Turkheim, where he worked as a slave laborer. As prisoners of the Nazis, Dr. Frankl's wife and parents perished in the concentration camps. His only living relative was his sister, who was able to escape to Australia. During his time of suffering in these camps, he came to the conclusion that even in the most absurd, painful, and dehumanized situation, life has meaning, and therefore even suffering is meaningful. This conclusion became the basis of Dr. Frankl's logotherapy. In his book, Man's Search for Ultimate Meaning, he recalls a moment during his time in Auschwitz when the idea of finding meaning of life came to him during the daily walk to his detail with other prisoners. And I quote, "We stumbled on in the darkness, over big stones and through large puddles, along the only road leading from the camp. Anyone with very sore feet supported himself on his neighbor's arm. Hardly a word was spoken. The icy wind did not encourage talk. Hiding his mouth beneath his upturned collar, the man marching next to me whispered suddenly, 'If our wives could see us now, I do hope they are better off in their camps and don't know what is happening to us.' That brought thoughts of my own wife to mind, and as we stumbled along for miles, slipping on icy spots, supporting each other time and again, dragging one another up and onward, nothing was said, but we both knew. Each of us was thinking of his wife. Occasionally I looked at the sky, where the stars were fading and the pink light of morning was beginning to spread behind the dark bank of clouds, but my mind clung to my wife's image, imagining it with uncanny acuteness. I heard her answering me, saw her smile, her frank and encouraging look. Real or not, her look was more luminous than the sun that was beginning to rise. A thought transfixed me. For the first time in my life, I saw the truth as it is set into song by so many poets, proclaimed as the final wisdom by so many thinkers. The truth that love is the ultimate and highest goal to which man can aspire. The salvation of man is through love and in love. I understood how a man who has nothing in this world still may know bliss, be it only for a brief moment, in the contemplation of his beloved. In a position of utter desolation, when man cannot express himself in positive action, when his only achievement may consist in his enduring his suffering in the right way, an honorable way. In such a position man can, through loving contemplation of the image he carries of his beloved, achieve fulfillment. For the first time in my life, I was able to understand the meaning of the words, "The angels are lost in perpetual contemplation of an infinite glory." Dr. Frankl survived and brought from his experience an understanding and renewed commitment for life. Logotherapy is a type of existential analysis which focuses on the will to meaning, as opposed to Adler's will to power and Freud's will to pleasure. The basic principles of logotherapy are: life has meaning under all circumstances. Our main motivation for living is our will to find meaning in life, and we have the freedom to find meaning in what we do and what we experience, or at least in the stand we take when faced with a situation of unchangeable suffering. Everything can be taken from man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in a given circumstance. Dr. Frankl published over 32 books, lectured and taught seminars all over the world, and received 29 honorary doctoral degrees due to his contribution to individual freedom. On September 2nd, 1997, Dr. Frankl died of a heart attack. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Viktor Frankl, 1905-1997.